Hello, this is Jess Vargas. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to the tools that we will be using during our upcoming session. To help you become more familiar with the tools, we have created an exercise for you. And it will be a step-by-step. And I'm here to help you walk through every step, and I will be demonstrating how to use the tools. So we first come over here to the right-hand side, and you're going to see there's a to-do list. The exercise is to introduce yourself. But the first thing you need to do is to learn how to navigate within the Miro software. What we see here is a board. It's an infinite board. So in order to maneuver, we first need to learn how to zoom in and zoom out. If you come down here to the lower right, you see this box, and this is the viewer's box. And what you see a plus. If you click on that, you can zoom in. If you click on the minus, you can zoom out. If you click on the fit to screen, it will take you back to the beginning where we started. Now, there's a couple other ways to zoom in and zoom out. We can come out here to the board itself, and if you have a mouse with a wheel, you should be able to zoom in, zoom out, zoom in again. You can also come down to this box, and you can see that there is a box here. So the next step is to learn to move around. So if we come back to that same box, this is how we can then move around the view. Now, if we zoom in, we can move around to different parts, but you can see it here. The other way to do it is coming out here, zoom out, grab the board, and you can move the board. And it's that simple to move around. So with that, we've just completed number one. We learned to zoom in and to zoom out. The next thing we're going to learn is our primary tools that we will be using during the upcoming session. This software comes with a lot of different tools. We will only be focusing on the two that are listed here. We will be looking at the sticky notes and the shapes primarily. But we will go through the main menu so you know what items are here, which you can always take the time at a later time on your own and learn the tools. There is the pointer, which is the one, it's basically your mouse. Templates, you can explore the templates on your own. We do not plan to use any of the templates that are here. Text, this is free text, freelance text. We're not going to be using that tool during this session, the upcoming sessions. Grids, we're not going to be using grids, but again, you can always explore this on your own. But the first tool that we will be using is the sticky note. In the sticky note, if I click on the sticky note, you're going to see a screen with different color sticky notes. I'm going to click on the gold one. Now that I clicked on it, you see now there's an icon, a sticky note icon. I come over here next to this other gold one. I'm going to zoom in, and you can see that there's a sticky note the same size. When I've highlighted a sticky note, there's a ribbon that appears, and within the ribbon I have different commands that I can use. The auto, this means that for the text is automatically sized, so regardless of the size of the sticky note, the text is going to adjust itself. Alignment, these are your choices for alignment of the text on the post-it note. You can insert a link to a different screen or a different board. Size, basically this allows you to quickly change sizes. Small size, medium size, large size. So let me zoom out and return it to its side. So you grab a corner and you can size it to fit, and you can see that it gives you guidelines. So I'm going to grab that, move it over. I can also add a tag, and we will be using tags, but I will be showing you at a later date how to use the tags on the post-it notes. You can add emojis, We're not using any emojis. And this is the lockdown. So right now, if you notice, I'm able to move the Post-it note just by grabbing it. If I go back and hit the lockdown, I will no longer be able to move it. In fact, I move the entire board when that happens. So we will only lock things down once we know that we have made a final decision. We lock them in place, and then you won't be able to move them around. Now, I can unlock these until the instructor locks them down. You can unlock these by clicking on these three dots, and it says More. So you just have the More, and you come down and you hit the unlock. Now it's unlocked. I can grab it, I can move it, and that's how you work with a sticky note. So now I'm going to click on it, and delete it. And we're going to move on to the next one, shapes. These are the basic shapes. We will be using shapes. So I'm going to grab the diamond, come over here, and you can see how a diamond. So again, anytime I have an element, I will get a ribbon, and I will have basically the same information, text, type of text. This, where you see that the center is open, is the outline. So let me change colors to an orange and make it large. As you can see, it increases size, but you can see what it does here. Click on it again. Now if I want to change the fill color, go into this one. I'm going to change it to orange, and now it's orange. Again, anytime I click on it, I get the ribbon. I have the same thing. I can lock it down. Also have a menu of items here. I can copy the style. I can copy a link to it, or the link of that item. I can link to it. I can add information to it. I can lock it. I can bring it forward because I can stack things. I can stack actually multiple Post-it notes as well. I can send it back to the stack. Copy. When you hit copy, the difference between copy and duplicate. Copy will copy the shape. Duplicate will duplicate the item, including the text. Please use the duplicate. Please don't use the copy. And whatever contents inside the shape can be exported to an Excel. We're not going to work on creating frames or creating templates. And of course, the last thing on here is delete, so we can certainly delete that. Now the other items on here, there's a line or a connection line. We will use that at some point. I'll show you how to do that once we get to that point. There is a pin. Again, you can explore how the pin works. There are comments that can be added to the Post-it notes, but again, we will do that at a later date. And these other commands, I would not worry about those. We're not going to use those in the session. If you come down here and you click on this menu, these items down here, we will not be using any of these, with the one exception, the clock. As the instructor, I will set the clock, and the clock will appear, and at the moment that the time runs out, you will need to stop, and it will actually bring you back to wherever the instructor is at. So I'm going to close that off. Again, you can always explore those on your own at a later time. So let's go back and get to where we started. Come back over here to our to-do list, and we've learned how to use sticky notes and shapes, so we've completed that. We are now ready to complete our first exercise. And our first exercise is to introduce yourself by answering the following questions and placing each one of those answers on a separate sticky note. Once we do that, then we will place them in the icebreaker box. And you can place them there randomly. You can bunch them together however you would like. So let's go over here. So the first thing we need to do is pick a sticky note color and type your name. So we're going to come over here to the existing sticky notes, pick a color. I'm going to pick the gold. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to click, double click, highlight the name, and now I'm going to type my name. and I'll click outside. So that one is now complete. Said to move it over to the ice. So let me zoom out, move over. It's the icebreaker, so we're here in the icebreaker. So I come back over here. I've already picked, select the color, and this is the color that I'm going to use going forward. It's going to be the gold color. I will answer the next question, and the next question is, how long have you been with your organization? Well, this now I need to duplicate. The easiest thing is to duplicate. Well, I can do actually several things. I can click here, pick gold, come over here, drop it in, and I can type in 13 years. Okay, so I've got that. Move it in line. So I've completed the first one. What is your title and function? So now I need again. So here's a different way of duplicating. So I come over here, go up here, go down to duplicate. I can now duplicate. Now change that. My function, I am an instructor. Click here. So I've just completed. Go back and click that. And again, I've done both of those. Do you have any previous exposure to process mapping? And the answer to that is no. So I'm going to come over, do the same thing, except this time I'm going to go back and try something new. If I would have come back to duplicate, I notice there is a key command, which is Control D. So I'm going to try that. So I'm going to click on that, hit Control D, and there we go. And so let me change that and highlight that, and the answer is none. I have no idea what process mapping is. And then, so I've completed that. Next question is, what do you do for fun? That's a very good question. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to duplicate it, and actually, that's my answer. None. I don't have any fun. All I do is teach or work. No, just kidding. I do have, I like hiking. I like to get away and go hiking. So I've just completed those two. So let me zoom out. So I've completed all of those. So I go to the next question. Now copy the sticky with your name and place it in the swim lane on the RPM chart, which is this one here. This is the RPM chart, Relationship Process Map. So again, I'm going to go here. So the easiest thing to do is to duplicate. So Control D. I'm going to grab it, move it over here, place it in this first column. And I've now done that. And I'm going to look down and say, what's the next thing? Copy all the stickies with your responses and place them in the same swim lane you have placed your name in. So I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to move it here. That's the swim lane. So this one, do the same thing. Is another duplication, bring it up. Now I'm going to show you something. If you want to duplicate more than one post-it note at a time, I'm going to hit Shift V. I'm going to hold that down while I take my mouse and I highlight those two like that. And now I'm going to click, right click, duplicate, and now it's done. Now I come over here. Oops, I need to move this out. And now they're there. And so I've completed that. please make sure they are placed in the order the questions were asked. Yes, they are. Then link them together by drawing an arrow from left to right. Okay, so I come over to the arrow, there to there. Yep, that's right. And I do another one, click another one, from there to there. Maybe I should zoom in. I can also copy them. And there you go. So I have now completed my task. So now that I've completed my task, I'm ready for our first session. You are welcome to go in and try some of these others. Please zoom out and go somewhere else. Please do not move any of these items. Please leave them where they are. But if you like to go play with some of these other things with the pen, you can certainly do that. I want to put a comment right here. I can certainly add a comment. So I can do all those things, but please remember that at the end, see, I added a comment. I can now, again, Shift V, I like that, and I can delete that. And I can go right back to where I started by clicking the fit, and I go right back to the very beginning. All right. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to email me. Otherwise, I will see you first day. Thank you again.